Welcome to welcome to another exercise. My goodness. Mm-mm-mm. Ah. We're here talking about Uncle Tom. Uncle Thomas. Once again, he keeps amazing all the people in the world on how low he can go and the things that he do. To me, there's no surprise because there's no limit of how far this person would stoop because this is what he does. This is his MO. It's his stick. It's his character. It's who he is as a person. And the more people see it, the worse it becomes for him. Now, the problem here is I'm not surprised at him. It's the people that's following him. You know, this type of behavior has been seen from him for years. But the people that's following him, they're the ones that I'm kind of baffled about. Like, why are they there? Why would you follow someone who does these things? That says a lot about you. And it says a lot about the psyche of people. People want to be heard on the stage so much that they don't even care what the character of the person is that they're going on. They just want to be out there on the show. This person would stoop to any low. Any low. He don't care. You see, people used to believe, because that's what he wants you to do, that he actually has a message. And he don't believe in that message. The message that he's putting out there, that's the stick. That's part of his stick to try to say, this is what I'm about. But he's not about that. He's full of shit. He's not about that. He's only after money and fame. That's it. And he doesn't care who he has to sell out to get it, what he has to do to sell out to get it. He's going to continue to Tom all the way down the road. It's his name. He can't help it. Thomas is going to do exactly what Thomas is going to do. He's never going to upset the master. See him right there sitting right across from Zaddy, looking like they in Uncle Tom's cabin right now. Look at him, Tomming it up. See how he's sitting there, subservient, waiting on his master's command. That's what he's doing. See, in his eyes, we are wrong and they are right. He has no discord, no disagreements. He's always going to toe the line when he comes here. So let's actually see what we're actually going through here. Let's go ahead here and see Tom at work.
Really hard to talk about this stuff, right? Like when people, you see people bring this up on TV and people make it seem like it's about race. And it's not about race. Mm-hmm. I don't think, and I suspect you don't think so either. But even for you as a black man, you're black, is that?
Yeah, that's the rumor.
That is correct. Sure. But really, you know what I mean? Like even for you to talk about it, it feels like there's a racial component, but you haven't said anything racial, really. You're just talking about the fact of what you saw.
Yeah. As you made all this money, let me ask you this. Let me just throw this out. You respond any way you want. Is there racism in America? You be sitting there thinking about that paycheck, talking about, no sir. If it is, I ain't seen none.
So that when you speak of it, they look at you and they say, well, you're condemning black people. Well, in essence, I am, if you pull back the layers, because that's the side that I know. Because like you said, your father and mom married 40 years and you've been able to see stability. Well, most of my friends have. Most of my friends are like myself. I'm 41 years old. I wake up every day and I'm trying to figure out how to be a man at 41 because I never saw one. I never saw how a man is supposed to be a father. I never saw how a man is supposed to be a husband. I just saw a female dictator.
People talk, you know. He never had anyone to show him how to be a man. Out of his own mouth, he tells you. He told you he was a woman trapped in a man's body. He told you, I have a gay son. Or it came out, I have a gay son. I'm a woman trapped in a man's body. I'm just trying to learn how to be a man because I've never seen one. He's telling you about himself. This is a person who needs help. And they put these people on the television screen to try to speak for all of us. You see, that's the problem. Now, what he's talking about, and normally he's contextualizing now. Now he's on his P's and Q's, on his best behavior now. None of that stuff on his show. No screaming, no ranting, none of this. Now he's on his best behavior because he's in front of Zaddy. So he can't upset the master. So now he's being led. You see how the guy said, and it's not about racism, and I feel you feel the same way, right? Of course you know how he feel. He wouldn't be sitting in that chair if you ain't know how he felt. You see what they do? And now it's all black people's fault for their conditions. There's no fathers in the household. There's no fathers in the household because of the welfare system that they put in place in the 70s. You know that. They split the households up. They introduced crack to poverty. They financed the destruction of black people across this whole United States of America. Hell, the world. They did. So that host and his family could do the things that they do. But let's go to his breakdown, right? Because he loves to use sports analogy to back up his statements. Uncle Tom ain't done. Let's listen to some more Uncle Tom.
I'd say like the movie Frequency, where the guy had two memories. He had one of where his father died, and he had one of where his father was alive, because he was the only one that noticed that both happened. Everybody else's life had changed. Well, it's the same thing when you're growing up in a neighborhood where everyone else has a mom, which is a dictator, and it's a norm. When you watch the news right now, or watch the NBA draft, you will see some black guy get up there and he'll say, thanks to my mom, it'll be a bunch of women stand up, and it'll be no dad. His first thing they ask him what's he going to do with all his money is, I'm going to take care of my mom and buy my mom a house. And you never had to hear Peyton Manning say this, because Peyton Manning had this thing called a father. His father bought his mom a house. A lot of black children, the males become the breadwinner. That's why you see so many young men out in the streets selling drugs, because they're trying to take care of and be the man that mom couldn't pick when he or she was had.
One, Peyton Manning's father was a perennial Hall of Fame NFL quarterback. So they never had to worry about money. So he came from money. That's why his father was home. with his wife and their family. So no, Peyton didn't have to buy the family a house because the family already had a house that was paid for. So Peyton Manning is not the right analogy for what you're saying. But again, yes, there was a time where that was a big, huge gap and started in the 70s, but pretty much we didn't see the results of this until the 90s or 2000s when you start seeing players come in more with single parents. Because there still was a large amount of players coming into the league who had their mother and father as parents. And now this dynamic is changing. You're seeing more black fathers in the household with the children. That increase has been going up since this newer generation now. These dads are trying to be there with their children now. It's not a growing pandemic anymore that used to be like it was from, I would say, the 90s through 2000 era where that was happening. But now you look at the NBA draft now, you see more fathers there with their sons. You see more fathers and mothers. In all of these previous drafts, you're seeing fathers and mothers. You're not just seeing the one child, but you're treating it as the exception, and what your concept is of what's happened throughout the generations of splitting up the black families as the rule. And that is why the situation, you don't see progress. You don't see the work being done. You don't see anything positive. You only see the negative. And that negative in your mind will become the staple of what is wrong with all black society, all black, all the time. Now, you make these points to try to make it sound like, wow, this guy's really got a good point, and because he knows what the problem is, he doesn't care. He's saying all these things as if he cares about it. You just mad because your mama whipped your ass as a kid. She should have whipped your little bad ass. You probably needed about 3-4 more whippings from what we see here and where you act now. I should call your mama and tell her right now before she got service on Sunday that she need to come before Sunday service, go to your house, drag you out, whoop your ass, and drag you back into that church. Get that demon out you.
One of the biggest problems that I think when you have these women, especially when they're violent, because I grew up in a violent household, the women in our community believe in violence towards their children. That's the way to keep them out of jail, which doesn't work, but it's believed. There was a woman, a mother in Baltimore, and they called her the riot mom. I don't know if you remember. When her son was out there with a mask on and she came and grabbed him and hit him. And all the white liberals were talking about how great this was. Yeah. And I said, how is that great? If this had been any parent from any other race, they would have thought that's abuse. First off, why is your child out there? Yeah. That's something you should have known. Number two, the mother was out there with the child. She just happened to see the child. Number three, the woman has 6 children. She lives in a bad neighborhood, and she has 6 kids by 6 different dudes. But nobody wanted to address any of this. She's a good mom because she's on him. If she was really a good mom, one of the most important things a woman can do is pick the correct person to have the kid with.
So what do you suggest? She goes and creates a Tinder app and has an application and starts saying, you're the right guy to have a child with. So the fact that she had a child with someone you feel like that wasn't the right guy to have a child with. What do you think these women that you have children with think about you as a father? 41 years old, trying to figure out how to be a man. And you have all these kids out here. You probably wasn't the right guy that they should have had children with. According to your analogy, that the whole situation is based on she chose the wrong person to have a child with. when you don't even know who that person is, Tom? Uncle Tom, baby, what I tell you, he shows up right on time. Eat Tom turkeys on Thanksgiving. Oh, buddy. He never disappoints, does he? Never disappoints. He always gonna prove your statement right. And it's gonna come right out of his own mouth. See, I don't gotta put words in your mouth. You gonna do all the talking. That's your problem. That is your problem right now. You mad at everybody else in the world because you want to be up there so bad. You want to keep Tom and you want to do all these things to be accepted, and they don't care about you. You're just a means to help them out, to help them prove a point. And they just wanted your complexion. That's all they needed. To say, look, we got one that's like one of them saying what we're saying. That's what they want. You let them use you as an example. You think you're on here making a point and this is big for you and you're going to do all this. You were used. You let yourself go on here and be used. Like you said, you're still trying to learn how to be a man. A man would have never been on this show and did what you just did. Not a black man. No. Now, let's listen to Massa. Talk to Toby. Uncle Tom, rather. In Uncle Tom's cabin. Let's listen to how he tries to talk about a very difficult situation here. The reparations for slavery. Oh man, this is a topic here. Let's listen to how this is handled and how this is steered.
Now, it's not built into the system anymore, but does the system owe anything to black people for past grievances? For the fact that most black people that are here were brought here, not voluntarily.
I do think they owe, but how would you figure it? How would you figure this out? I think they owe because I see what they did to the Jews, and they're continually paying them in their generations. If you don't pay this group, but you will pay that one, then you have to explain
Wait, you're talking
why.
about like Germany,
like what happened in Germany,
reparations to Jews after the Holocaust.
Yeah. So if that can happen, if what happened with the Japanese who were interned here in a little while, they were compensated.
Mm-hmm.
The Indians were compensated. Black Americans have to be compensated for something, I would assume. Mm-hmm.
But then, here comes the coonery. Right on time. Here it is. But then, let's hear the but then.
The logistics of it.
No, now it's
who
logistics.
Who pays what? Where does it go? Who actually had lineage? Because if I'm not mistaken, only 2 to 8% of whites actually owned slaves. It wasn't like everybody had slaves. So how do you calculate this money and who actually gets it? Because not every black person that's in America came from a slave either.
And is there also an inherent problem that even if you did that, which I agree would be an undertaking that would be beyond an ability.
Let's listen to this.
But let's say you could figure it out and you could get some consensus on it. Not that we can get consensus on anything in America, but let's say we get some consensus on it and people said, okay, this is basically right. Is the other problem that it actually feeds exactly what you've been talking about is the biggest problem here, which is, all right, you throw money at it.
Throw money at it. Okay.
You don't know what people are going to do with their money.
We don't know what they're going to do with their own goddamn money. Okay. Right.
Entitled to do whatever they want with it. Some people are going to buy a car. Some people are going to waste it on booze.
So they're going to buy a car and waste it on booze. So if blacks get reparations for all the stuff that's going on and you throw money at it, we don't know what they're going to do with their money. they're going to buy cars. We're going to assume that they're all going to buy cars and spend it on booze, and it's their own money. Why is this a concern for you, Zaddy?
Some people might invest it in education and all that, but that you actually didn't solve a problem. You just you enriched victim culture, which I know sounds terrible in a situation like this.
I know it sounds terrible. You're enriching victim culture. Well, go and say that to the Jews. Was there a well then? Do we have to figure this out? Did they have to do that with them? Did they go over there and vet them and say, well, we got to track to see, was your family a member of the Holocaust? Or did they just get the money? But when it's blacks, it's got to be some type of logistics. Oh, well, we got to find out, did your ancestors, was they a slave? How long was they a slave? We got to go and do all these deductions. And so it's just harder to figure out. This is calculus, high-speed calculus. I'll be knowing, ain't. See the color of my skin? Yeah, run my check. That's all you need to do. Run my check. Run my bread. But I don't look at my skin. Yep, run my check. But how do we know you went through slavery? I went through hell because of the color of my skin in this country. Run my bread. So no matter if my ancestors wasn't one anyway, you treated me like we was one. So goddamn, run my bread. And how dare you sit there in your imperialistic way, Zaddy, and try to talk about what we should do with our money if we got it. And how dare you speculate on what's gonna happen with the money? So what if they buy cars and they buy booze? Do anybody care about what you buying, Zaddy? Huh? When you in Golf Club America spending up daddy's money from the townie that you came from, your townie, you ain't done nothing remarkable in your damn life but following daddy's footsteps of doing absolutely effing nothing. But these are the people Tommy want to impress and be like. And you fools sit up there and follow him, meaning his followers. You idiots go over there and support him and his nonsense. You support a guy who makes fun of a handicapped person. Who don't have half the bravery that Jose has. And he still says F you. That's just how Jose rolled. He's stronger than you could ever be. But you're weak. Then you're wondering why Tommy the other guy that I don't like, Kevin Samuels, and Kwame likes him. He has no problem with him. I don't like Kevin Samuels. A lot of people like him. I don't. He's another Tommy. I see right through him. He's just better at it than you, Tommy. That's what pisses you off. You like, he's saying my stuff. Yeah, he is. He's saying a lot of stuff you said. He just took the Tommy out of it. He took he took a lot of your BS out of it. He said, oh, yeah, I see where he went wrong. I wouldn't do that. I'm going to take all that out, and I'm going to ignore the living hell out this dude. He ignores you. No matter how much you try to get his attention, no matter how many videos you make, you still are going to be behind Kevin Samuels. You don't exist to him. But he's going to continuously grow and do his thing and keep moving forward. Even though I don't like him. I think he's another problem in the system that need to be fixed. But he's better at it than you, of navigating. But ain't no way I'm finna sit there and let some cake boy like him putting down black women on the show. I'm like, where does he find these black women to come on there and let him talk to them that way? It just baffles me, the level we lower ourselves to. Oh yeah, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to follow at Kwame Brown Bus Life. Don't forget to subscribe to here. Hit the notification bell. At Seahawks Jose Rodriguez. At Welcome to HD, Two Eyes, Then the TV, Straight Talk TV, Ticket TV. It's a lot of TVs. A lot of TVs. Even One Crack News, man. Don't forget to tackle that one. That's another good program that we got out there. Now, it's so interesting to me that they paint this narrative, and I like that. They always say, well, black people, stop complaining, right? Build your own, right? That is it. Build your own. Get out there and build your own. We strong, build your own. That's what we all say. That should be the answer, right? But this is where we collide with other people all the time, because I agree with that. But there's a way you have to do it to where build your own ends in, oh, you probably don't even know what I'm talking about yet because you didn't hear him say it, but I'll let you hear it said and we'll get back to the point.
If he really cared about blacks, why wouldn't he just say, well, instead of complaining, build your own? If the masters won't let you in, they have golf courses and places you can build golf courses all over the place. We have all these well-off black people and actors and whatever. They can build their own. Because right now, we want to get awards on TBS and NBC and whatever while we still have black entertainment TV. But if there was white entertainment TV, how far would that go?
Well, they don't have to say white entertainment television. Every station you turn to is white entertainment television. So why would they have to say that? And why should we have to build our own? Did they build their own? So as soon as white folks build their own, then we'll build our own. They didn't build their own. They had others do it. But we are told to build our own. See, you got to understand, this is psychological brainwash. In other words, whitewashing. This is the whitewashing mentality that it's your fault Go build it. We, you actors, we've given you athletes and we've given you millions of dollars. Go build your own. No, we're going to build our own the way you built your own. It was given to you. So now you got to give it to us. Don't like when we play the same way and say, hey, freedom got an AK. Now Zaddy wants him to talk about black people winning Oscars and awards. This, now that they're even in the totem pole on that, this is a problem. Zaddy wants things to go back to the way it used to be. And Zaddy is looking at old Uncle Tommy to make this comparison and make it go logical for Zaddy. Look at the Emperor. I have my Darth Vader. Don't you? You got your little Darth Vader, don't you, Emperor? Now, come on, be a good Uncle Tommy and sell it for us.
And they don't protest it because they are busting their asses in school, and that has to come from the home. And so their eyes are on the right prize, not the prize that the liberals want you to think is the right prize. If only we had the exact amount of people winning Oscars, everything would be equal. But this is a really hard thing to extricate from society.
Which doesn't make sense, because the same amount of people who are black were winning awards just like white people.
No, they're not. White people are not winning awards, and blacks are not winning the same amount of awards as white people. Stop it. You're right there doing exactly what Zaddy wants you to do. Zaddy said that blacks should be focused on schoolwork and focus on education rather than focusing on winning Oscars and everything else. Well, then damn, what do the white folks need to be focused on then? So let them not be focused on schoolwork, but it's okay. Zaddy ain't making no damn sense. So what Zaddy is saying is, look, leave that shit for all the white folks. That's ours. And then they need you, Uncle Tommy, to come here with the cootery. Here we go, baby. Uncle Tommy. It right in Uncle Tom's cabin. Once again, let's listen to how he breaks this down. He already started off with a lie. They all winning the same amount of awards. Lie.
White people should complain, because white people have more people in the United States, so the numbers wouldn't bear it out. Why would only white people should complain about the NBA? I get tired of being
I wanted to be in the NBA.
Right, I get tired of being a white guy turning on this television with my two white sons, and we're watching all these black guys run up and down, and my kids thinking, well, I can't be that.
Yeah.
How fit?
Yeah. Look at him. He's like, look at Zaddy. Yeah. Tell him. That's how I feel. Yeah, that's right. White guys shouldn't like the NBA. That's why there's more white guys in the NBA now than it's been since the damn 70s and 80s. Since 1980. So this just goes to show you the level of thinking that goes on on these shows and how they get people to think. They don't, get them not to think. They're trying to program you, whitewash you to believe that this is normal. This is the norm. Stay like this. But they never want to really address the problem the right way. Had Zaddy had me on that show, Zaddy had me in that chair, this conversation would have broke the internet. Zaddy would have been sweating. Zaddy would have been, cut the camera off! This motherfucker, cut the goddamn cameras off! I'd have been sitting there like that. We done? That's it? 15 minutes? All right. All right. Thanks for having me on. It would take less than 15 minutes to get this all done. I would have been on every news station across the globe. They'd have been like, man, it was an explosive news story that went on today. This interview did not go as it was programmed to go down. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the pages. And definitely support the page. Love, peace, and hair grease. We will be back with more.